Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Kudlow. Welcome to another special edition of Kudlow. We're focused on Ukraine and the president's State of the Union speech. In a few moments, we'll be joined by Republican House Leader Kevin McCarthy. And after Mr. McCarthy, we will speak with West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. Also, a bit later in the show, we'll speak with Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, who really did a bang-up job last night delivering the Republican rebuttal to President Biden. And there was a lot to rebut. Unfortunately, my skeptical riff last evening proved to be true. Despite being upside down on all the polls, on all the key issues, facing the country has completely rejected Mr. Biden's big government socialist agenda, completely rejected his efforts to transform economic and social policies, and despite his loss of confidence in character and honesty, the president stood before the American people last evening and essentially gave a warmed-over, regurgitated laundry list of all his failed policies. Remarkable. Instead of a reset or some kind of move towards the center, he just gave the back of his hand to the majority of Americans and instead limited his appeal to the far-left progressive Democratic base. That's all it was. Incredibly enough, the speech was larded up with the usual list of social spending and climate change policies. You know, universal pre-K, child allowances, paycheck protection, more health care, parental medical leave, drug price controls, minimum wage, so-called affordable housing, so-called freedom to vote bill, anti-cop criminal justice reforms, no solution to the open border catastrophe, more background checks for guns, massive climate subsidies, tax the rich companies. All the stuff that's been rejected. Remember Save America, Kill the Bill? You know what? At least last year, we won. He lost. But now, he's back again. And I'm telling you, it's going to fail again. So will his compete with China, $350 billion monstrosity of corporate welfare and industrial planning. And so will his $30 billion COVID add-ons. And, of course, he continued to bang away against fossil fuels. Mr. Biden is being very stubborn. He's making some very poor political calculations. Americans don't want to buy what he's selling. He's never going to persuade common sense people who believe in free market, free enterprise, capitalist system, and who believe in individual freedom. People don't want critical race theory in their schools. They don't want phony, false history lessons. They don't want to pit whites versus blacks. They don't want to raise taxes. They don't want a new central planning, regulatory state that would run every nook and cranny in the economy. And they don't want inflationary deficit spending. It's as though Mr. Biden cupped his ear and said, I can't hear you. So he's back for another try at a failed agenda. The country doesn't want to be transformed with a jolt to the far left, but he doesn't get it. Should we be growthier? Yes. Let's freeze spending. Let's cut taxes. Let's reduce regulations and drill with an all-the-above energy policy. Because we desperately need more reliable energy sources, and we need them right now. We need to stop buying Russian oil here at home. And we need to stop giving dictator Putin more profit windfalls by keeping America energy off the market and driving world oil prices and gasoline prices higher and higher. Last night, as I said, Biden gave folks what they don't want. He's going to pay the price politically. Me? I'm giving up big government socialism for Lent. That's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to say, save America. Kill the bill. The cavalry is coming. And that's my riff.